Welcome to BTG180. This video is dedicated exclusively for advanced compensation plan training, where we're going to talk about revenue shared squared in its entirety. Now, as always, we need to read the disclaimer aloud anytime we're talking about our home-based business, and especially when it talks about making money in our program. It says if you make a purchase from BTG180, you are purchasing an e-commerce subscription or you're purchasing BizBucks to use for purchasing products and services. Now, you're not purchasing stock or any form of investment or equity. You must actually use the BizBucks that you purchased or give them away as samples to help grow your business. Affiliates who present our products to others in a misleading manner or in a way that leads the buyer to believe that he or she is making an investment or purchasing equities will be terminated, and all commissions and awards will be forfeited. Buyers must read the entire How It Works section on the company's website and the legal disclaimers. Now, automatic translations are provided for your convenience. However, the English terms and conditions are authoritative and binding. If there's ever a conflict in the meaning between languages, the English version shall be considered authoritative. Now, to save time, I'm not going to read through the disclosure. If you'd like to do so, please feel free to stop the video now. Okay, so with the BTG180 business model and revenue shared squared, there are multiple ways to earn income. Now, the hard thing for people to wrap their mind around is this all happens simultaneously. That's why we call it revenue shared squared. The three things that we just added brand spanking new to the program in 2014 is the enroller bonuses, the elite expansion bonuses, and mentor matching bonuses. And this is designed to create instant cash flow, right? Coding bonuses, as they're called in the industry, is a proven way of paying the most fast start cash of any compensation strategy anywhere, bar none. That's been documented. Then we have retail commissions, we have a retail website profit, we have daily revenue share pool, which everybody used to think that that was the best way to make money. In reality, it's a great way to make money on a slow basis. But if you really want to make a lot of money really quick, you need the enroller bonus, the coding bonus program, and then of course the masterpiece of revenue shared squared is the subscription bonus pools, where you can get into the quarterly six-figure bonuses and the amazing million a year club. I mean, who doesn't want to be a millionaire if you're a business owner, right? And this is a program that take you there in the shortest period of time with the path of least resistance. Now, with revenue shared squared, we're taking all the money from everything that we're marketing, right? So that means all the commodities out of the mall, all the products that we're selling through the auction, right through the auction process, the business in the box, which is the premier bids, and the subscription money that we're contributing to get more BizBucks, right? This is all going to a series of pools. Now, the formula never subjects the company to bad debt, because it takes just up to 50% of that and pays it out. We're never looking at any more of an exposure on 50 cents of every dollar. Then off the top comes the company's expenses. And then the beauty is all the profits then are shared with the children's causes, which is the reason why the founder created the company, is to pay a windfall of money to the affiliates and then pay a windfall of income to children in need. Now, we break it up into two elements. On the left is the daily pay, right? This is the direct commissions, the daily pay. This is why it's an exciting program, because if you go out and work today, as soon as the funds are cleared, you get paid the following day. And it's cash money. There's no account balance required out of that. With the enroller bonus, the elite expansion bonuses, and the mentor matching bonuses, that's the coding bonuses, can pay you a lot of money in a very short period of time. So if you're in a hard way, this is a program, if you get aggressive, it can turn your life around in a very short period of time. Now, on the right is what I like to call the retirement money. This is the money that's going to set you up forever, and that's paid on a monthly basis. Now remember, the daily is there to give you the instant gratification. And as you start with the community pool and work your way to presidential elite, that's why we say this can go from zero to the amazing million a year club. Now remember, in order to do this, you're going to have to pull from a bigger market. In the first year and a half of BTG's existence, we only marketed out of the US. Now we're going to reach out in 2014 and go global and offer our program to 100 countries. So let's start from the basics, because there's just two decisions a person has to make besides the yes or no if I want to be in business with you. Is they need to pick a business in the box. So with the business in the box, all your websites are set up instantaneously. And then the difference is how many premier BizBucks you get to go in and play the auction, be a product of the product, right? Win some really cool stuff. You're going to get an account balance at a 1-to-1 ratio. If you pick the standard package for $1,000, you get 1,000 reward points. And then if people buy stuff from your website, as you learn more about our products, there's some amazing stuff. You want to make the highest retail possible commission. So the more you're committing in the business in the box, the higher your percentage. Now, you can roll over commission that you earn. Your direct commission can be rolled over and and get more Premier BizBucks at any time and give you a higher reward points besides the daily revenue, creeping that up a little a month. So remember, this is kind of like a franchise mentality where it's a set package, but people can add more money later because a lot of people love to play the auction. And I can tell you from personal experience, 1,000 Premier BizBucks or 2,500 Premier BizBucks is not going to last you forever. So once again, these are just the packages we're using to keep it simple, keep the dollar amounts low so it doesn't frighten people, and people get started with discretionary income. They don't need to go out, hopefully, and take a loan or do something silly. We want them to work with something that gets them excited from the word go. Now, the monthly subscription packages are designed to give you more BizBucks on a monthly basis. Now, you get a 2-for-1 here. So if you're a contributor outside the U.S., you're going to get 20 new BizBucks every month. The Guardian for $50 gets 100, the Benefactor gets 200, and the Global Ambassador gets 500 BizBucks for the 250. Now we're gonna see here shortly that we've designed this now that as you become more and more successful, then you have to increase your subscription to make a lot more money. So a little more commitment pays a lot more money into the pools. Now it's important to understand one thing here. You only get to make this decision once a month, and then you have to live with it for a whole month. And so if you take too low of a subscription and your team explodes on you, you have to wait till your anniversary date before you can increase the package. So pick wisely as you go through and learn everything about the program. And as always, if you get 4 people with the same package or higher, you don't have to pay. A year and a half ago at the time of this recording, I paid for the Global Ambassador one time, and then I've never had to pay again because I got 4 people. So that's just a food for thought there. Now, I put this at the end of the company presentation just because it's not that important, and I just want to get it out of the way now because with the minimum of the 2 customer rule, all of what we're talking about on this page is simply for the daily revenue. Has nothing to do with the expansion bonuses, the mentor bonuses, the monthly pools. This is simply for the daily revenue pool, and we give you up to 30 days to go get 2 customers. And a customer is defined, right, as either a paid subscription package or somebody buys $50 in BTG products per month from our mall, or with new daily deals that give, you get a merchant advertising a daily deal. This only has the effect on, do you want to make daily revenue pool? Well, I like to make money on everything, so as the story goes, you only have to place an ad. We give you all the text information, the approved stuff in the back of your virtual office. You copy and paste it, you put it on your Facebook page, you put it on a LinkedIn page, you put it on an approved website. You're just advertising your business. It's a couple-minute task. And then you need to pick 2 of the following 5 things, just 2. You could do the repurchasing at 80-20. I set mine at 100%. You can play the auction, just 10 BizBucks in a given month, and you're qualified. You can sponsor a new Global Ambassador, you can be a Global Ambassador, or you can do a merchant advertising a daily deal. Myself personally, I just set my repurchasing at 100%, and I'm a Global Ambassador, and so there's nothing to do, right? I just simply run an ad every day on my Facebook page, and then you qualify to make the money. So very simple process. Now here we have the start of the magic of the coding bonuses and how you can make quick cash, fast start cash, a lot of people like to say. With the very first person that goes in, no matter what you sign up as and no matter what subscription package you go with, when you put your first person into the system who picks a business in a box, and for illustration purposes, we're simply going to use the 250,000, 2,500, right? People can start it free and upgrade for $10. So with 15% of the initial order, that means you're going to make $37.50 up to $375. What that means is you've traded some time for money, right? Because you got to go out and do the presentation. This is somebody you can use one of the leaders of the company. But if you think about a part-time job, if you go out and you just do an hour's worth of work and give a presentation to a couple people and somebody says yes, you're going to make between $37.50 to $375 for the hour. That's a great part-time gig. As fast as humanly possible, you get your second person, you get another 15%, but it automatically qualifies you for the community pool. So you, in essence, sponsor 2 people, you got 3 forms of revenue. So the community pool is the beginning of the series of revenue shared squared. When you add a third person, you always are going to get a 15% enroller bonus, but this creates your mentor team. And this is the pinnacle of our program because mentor teams trigger a whole bunch of revenue. So just remember, you want to be able to go out and encompass your mentor team as quickly as possible. So when that happens, everybody's trying to do the same thing, right? Everybody's getting a few, that's getting a few, getting a few, and the superstar is going to go get a lot. When the team's volume is 5,000 in group volume, you then get to be in the mentor bonus pool. So remember now, you've only put a few people in yourself. You've helped people, there's a cascading effect here. A couple gets a couple gets a couple. It's all being powered down. When the group gets to 5,000, you're in the mentor pool. Now there's a 50% rule here. Don't let it drive you crazy. Half of it needs to come on one side, half comes on the other. Now, once your mentor team is established, the magic really starts to happen when you put your fourth person in. Of course, you get another 15% on their order, but then this starts your elite expansion team, and I cannot begin to tell you how important this is. The fourth person then is going to trigger a whole nother series of income that can pay you a whole windfall of money in a very short period of time. Now, you can add as many elite expansion team members to your organization you want to. Now, remember, it all has to go down to organizations. So you decide, left or right. You can put as many as you want, 4, 5, 6, 7, 20, 40, it doesn't really matter. The more elite people, so how I like to say this, because the top title in our company is called Presidential Elite. So the more elite expansion team members, the faster you get to Presidential Elite. Now remember, as this is happening, everybody's trying to do the same thing. Now remember, you had 5,000 in volume to get to mentor. So remember, you got to do this one step at a time. You can't sit here and look at a top title in the company and say, I can't do that. You know, first you want to be in the community bonus pool. Then you just get to the mentor pool, which is 5,000. Well, if the group has already done 5,000, to get the group, the whole team, to get to 12 isn't half as hard as it was to go to mentor. So if you've provided the proper training and given the people, you know, positive information with them, it'll get easier as the time goes on. So then you're in the visionary bonus pool. Now, if you have the wisdom to be at $250 subscription package, there'll be another bonus at visionary on top of the pool money. We'll talk about that in a minute. So once again now, we've accomplished elite expansion team. So let's talk about the bonus now from the team. We're just going to put the first 3 people, here we see in the X's, we're going to put them on hold. We're going to be talking about the elite expansion team bonus, and that's 20% of all the orders. So we're going to take one person, as we talked about in the overview, move them over to the side. Now normally they go straight down, but there's limitations on the page. So as this person goes out and gets 3 people, they'll accomplish their mentor team. This could happen in an hour, it could happen in a week, who knows. And if they don't get a mentor team, if they put only 2 people in, but somebody underneath the second person creates a mentor team, it still counts. But 3 to get 3 to get 3 to get 3, there's no limitation on this. There's no limitation on the 20% you get on all of the orders on the 3 to get 3 to get 3 to get 3. This could be a lot of money in a very short period of time. So remember, unlimited in scope, and it's all being driven down to teams. So see, it behooves you to help your people go out and create their mentor teams as quickly as possible and have a system to create as many mentor teams as humanly possible in the shortest period of time. So what does that translate into income? In the initial presentation, I was using any variable of people upgrading. Here, we're just going to talk about the basic, standard, and advanced. So remember, it's 20% of each order, but a mentor team is 3 people. So with the basic, 20% of 250 is 50, but you got to multiply it by 3, right? Because there's 3 people in the mentor team. Same thing with the standard and the advanced. So that's why it says $150 to $1,500 would be the check. And remember, when I say check, they're really depositing money into your iWallet or your e-wallet or into your bank account. But I'm old school, so I like to say check. So just forgive me there. I'm going to use that consistently moving forward. So you get $150 to $1,500 put into your account each time this happens. Now, look, this could happen once a month. This could happen once an hour. This can happen, 10 times a week. It can happen 1,000 times a month because it's unlimited, and you can have as many people as you want on your elite expansion team, and they're all duplicating the process. But the important thing to understand is with Revenue Shared Squared, it drives the volume incredibly deep in a very short period of time. So the more people you have, the deeper your organization goes. So let's just do once again a little role playing here. It's just for illustration purposes only. It's not a guarantee of income. But let's say, like we did in the first presentation on the company overview, there were 2 standard packages and 1 advanced. We know that's $900. But let's just say underneath them, 3 people take the advanced package. That's $1,500 that comes your way. And then we have, let's say, 3 standard packages. There's another $600, and another 3, and that's $600. Well, we're talking about working with the whole world. So we're talking about a person that created a mentor team, and then one person out of your that mentor team created 1 mentor team. And then they did that 2 more times. And like I said, as the people get paid, and get paid very quickly, it creates a lot of excitement. So this has unlimited penetration, so you have to understand, this is all still driving down just to organizations. So once again, it's a very exciting part of our program. Now remember, the mentor team is your personally 3 people that you sponsored. As the name implies, you're supposed to mentor them. and then there's a compensation for mentoring the people. So it's not always sunshine and rainbows when you're trying to mentor somebody, because they have problems, you have problems, you got to stay positive with your team. But you're going to get 50% of all of their elite expansion bonus money that they earn. This is incredibly important. So if you help your 3 people make, let's say collectively $1,000, you'll get $500. If you help them make $10,000 each, right, that's $30,000 that they've created for themselves collectively, elite expansion teams. Are they happy? Well, of course they are, and you get a $15,000 override. And let's just say, 2 of them don't do much, but one guy's a superstar. It always ends up happening sometime. A guy gets a hold of the tiger by the tail and doesn't realize what to do, and the guy goes out and makes a whole bunch of money, and he makes $50,000 in a given month on elite expansion bonuses. The reward for you being his sponsor is $25,000. So once again, you have to combine all this, because as your elite expansion team obviously is creating their own mentors, your 3 people that you've personally put in that you're supposed to mentor go out and create elite expansion teams with your assistance. In essence, you're matching 50% of what they're earning in the elite expansion bonuses. A very win-win formula. Once again, to qualify though for this, you have to have 4 personally sponsored people at whatever subscription package. Remember, at the same time, these subscription bonus pools are going in, right? Because all that money came from the business in the box. That nothing on the elite expansion bonuses, mentor matching bonuses, that all came from the business in the box money. And then we talked a little bit about qualifying for the lower end of the pools. But the most powerful form of revenue sharing is taking the subscription money from all over the world and then splitting that up. In this compensation strategy, there are 3 categories: subscription pools in blue, visionary ambassador bonus in gold, and VIP bonus in green. And so 60% is in the blue, and then the other 40% is split in half. 20 goes into the VIP bonus in the green, 20 into the visionary ambassador bonus. So what happens here is, don't let the size of the pie chart fool you. Everyone shares in the subscription pools. Only the leadership that accomplished the higher titles has this additional 20 and 20% of all of the subscriptions all over the world. They only divvy that up. So it's kind of like the Pareto principle, where 20% of the people make 80% of the money and 80% of the people are only making 20% of the money. It's the same philosophy. So you want to get into the upper echelons of the program as quickly as possible, because that's where the really big money is kind of hiding out. Now, if you haven't seen this before, it's incredibly important to understand the theory, because it's the power of duplication. This is simply taking a penny and doubling it every day for 31 days. We see here within the 7th day, it obviously is only 64 cents. And so you'd probably be feeling kind of cheated if somebody paid you a penny every day and doubled it. But when we get into the later days of the month, the money obviously starts to increase. So obviously within the 3rd week or the 21st day, the person's earned $10,000 by the penny doubling a day. Now remember, this is just an illustration, shows you the power of duplication. It has really nothing to do with us. I just want to make a comparison here in a minute to revenue shared squared. And obviously in the 30th day, it's grown to over $5 million. And the 31st day, it's $10 million. Remember, we're starting with the philosophy, just like the penny doubling a day, is you put 2 people and power down 2 teams. And as they go out and get a few people, and they go out and get a few people, and go out and get a few people, it's the same concept. You can't beat this as far as growth patterns. Is 2 that can get 2 that can do 2 that get 2. And then we look at the volume requirements of revenue shared squared. Now, we're talking about a 250 subscription package. So if you put 2 people in the first day or first week, first month, and then 2 that get 2 that get 2, knowing that if you get a 3rd person that creates a mentor team and a 4th person starts your elite expansion team, we can go all the way to the highest VIP pool status, which is VIP pool 7 right here. That's 2,000 people. The presidential ambassador and elite is only 6 and 12,000 people. So remember, we're doubling a penny every day, and 1 cent turns into 10 million. So what I'm saying here is the volume of accomplishing the higher titles of our company, because we're simply driving 2 teams, is very achievable if you stay focused to the task. So once again, the community pool, as we discussed earlier, is a minimum of 2 people. Now with the community people, the more people you personally put in to the system yourself, and then we calculate the 2nd generation of their referrals, that determines the size of income you make out of the community pool. I like to say the size of your check. So the whole thing here is, it's a minimum of 2 people to get in the community pool, but if you add a 3rd person, a 4th, a 5th, or you add 10 people, your community pool check will be higher than the person that did less numbers than you. We just share all the revenue. Obviously, the more you do, the more you get. Now, mentor pool. Your subscription needs to be $50. That's the difference, is you need to make an upgrade to your commitment. But remember now, with the mentor pool, the mentor pool starts paying, a really nice type of revenue. All the stuff about the coding bonuses, that's all happening simultaneously, right? So in the mentor pool, we have to have a $50 auto ship, minimal, anywhere in the world. And then remember now, we already did 2 people to be in the community pool. So we're only adding 1 more person. So that's what it takes, 3 active people. And then the total group's volume needs to be $5,000 in subscriptions. Now remember, that would be the equivalency of 20 global ambassadors. Remember, if you take your 3 people and help your 3 people go get their mentor teams, right? That's 3, 6, 9, and these 3 are 12. You only have to do that 1 or 2 more times, and you're in the mentor pool. So once again, everybody does a little, helps you move forward. So remember, the 3rd person creates your mentor team. That's completed. Obviously, the person that you belong to in the leadership capacity is really going to thank you for that. Anything that you need, because he's going to help your mentor team grow more mentor teams. Remember, you're going to get help from above as well as below, and that's the way the compensation program is designed, is everybody's trying to help everybody grow because there's something in it for everybody. The visionary pool, once again, we already had 3 people, we already had 5,000 in volume. We then have to change our subscription package to $100 instead of $50. So at a $100 subscription package, you commit a little more to make a lot more money. Now you add a 4th person. Remember, we already had to have 3 to be mentor, 4 to be visionary. That starts our elite expansion team. The whole fireworks of the coding bonuses go up for us, and the group's volume needs to be 12,000. But remember, we'd already accomplished 5,000, so it's not a big stretch anymore to go from 5 to 12. And then, of course, if you have the wisdom to not be at the benefactor, but be a global ambassador, we're going to pay a whole nother series of bonuses that don't have a 50% rule. We're going to talk about that on the next slide. So once again, it's the same volume, the same everything. If you just had more of a commitment on your auto ship, the company's going to pay you a lot more money. So it's just a simple process. Now here is where some really big checks can be generated. It's the visionary ambassador and the VIP bonuses. So remember now, we talked earlier about all that other income and those, the community, the mentor, and the visionary subscription bonuses. Now we're talking about the leadership bonuses, and that's where the 20% and 20% of all the subscriptions from all over the world are sitting there. And you have to be visionary or higher to tap into that. It's only for visionary and higher. And so the whole Pareto principle once again kicks into effect of the 80-20. The qualification here, 250, right? You got 4 personally sponsored people, your subscription's at 250, and what happens is, depending on the size of the group's volume that you have, we're then going to then pull from these pools and give you money that only visionary and above can receive. And so the more volume your team accomplishes and the higher your title, the more you pull. Now the beauty of this is there is no 50% rule. So you happen to make it to visionary and higher, and one of your legs runs off to halfway around the world and you can't keep up with your second leg. The system calculates the entire organizational volume to scratch out these checks to you. So you're not punished if you have a runaway organization. Once again, you're rewarded. Every subscription going in is going to count to organizational volume, and you're going to get a percentage. So these checks are much higher than the subscription checks in the blue. Just because it's a smaller percentage, don't let it fool you. This is a very big bonus. Now we notice over here in the VIP bonus, you got to be at VIP pool 3 or higher. So those checks are even bigger, right? The checks in green are much bigger than the checks in orange, because once again, a person has to be VIP pool 3 or higher to draw from that 20%. So once again, very powerful formula. Now the rest of this is just volume. The one thing I want to explain here is we see the qualification is a 250 subscription. Remember, you had to be visionary or higher to get there. What you have to understand here is just because each person makes the same title doesn't mean their income is the same. So we see here some numbers. We see 30, 60, and 90,000. And then we see 2 units, 3 units, and 4 units. What this means is, if let's say two people are on completely different teams, one guy's in Brazil and the other guy, is over in Poland. They don't know anything about each other, but they're both VIP 1. One guy's team has 30,000 in volume. The other guy's team has 90,000 in volume. Well, why should they have the same check if one guy did 3 times the work, right? So the guy with 30,000 is going to be able to pull 2 units out of the pool from VIP pool 1. The other guy's got 90,000, gets 4 units. So he gets a bigger check because he did more work. So we want to make this as fair as possible. This would be the equivalency of 120 global ambassadors. Now, once again, it takes about 48 to get to visionary. So once again, we're just inching up. For approximately 50 people to go to 120 is not that big of a stretch, right? It's everybody just adding a little over a person into the program. So once again, 120 global ambassadors at 250, VIP pool 1. VIP 2 is 200, right? So once again, we're not making a big leap, a big stretch here. And it's all being powered down 2 teams. So the Visionary Ambassador bonus used to be at 50% at Visionary. Now when you get to VIP Pool 2, you're getting 60% of the ratio coming out of the pool. And then VIP Pool 3, now you're at 70% of the Visionary Ambassador bonus. And then the VIP bonus kicks in, and that's a whole nother level of series of income, a whole nother big check that's coming your way. Once again, group volume here is 70,000. That's the equivalency of 280 people. Remember, we got a worldwide company now, and it's all being driven down 2 teams. Then we just see 400 people at the global ambassador level to get to 4. When we get to 5, we're making 80% of the visionary and the VIP bonuses. Once again, group volume here, 150,000. That's the equivalency of 600 people. You're flirting already with 10,000 a month from all the pools. If you collectively add up all the pools, the volume that has to go in, your check is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 figures. Nothing to do with the bonuses that we talked about, you know, when you put people in and the mentor teams are being established. This is strictly pool money I'm talking about. VIP pool 6, you know, you're starting to be into the top income earners of the country. Your visionary and VIPs are at 90%. That's 800 global ambassadors at 250 as an illustration. More people at the lower packages. And then when you get to VIP pool 7, you max out the pools and all the subscriptions that are going in. So with 2,000 people, it's a global company, your visionary ambassador bonuses and the VIP bonuses are going to be 100% shares. And as your team does, you know, a minimum of 500,000 group volume to get there, that's the equivalency of 2,000 global ambassadors. You max out pretty much what you have to do with the visionary ambassador. You're at the highest percentages. Now remember, it's just 4 personally sponsored people. You've built 2 teams, and your subscription's at 250. So you didn't have to be a rock star. There could be a superstar on your left, superstar on your right. As long as you got your 4 personally sponsored people in a 250 subscription package, you can be all the way to VIP Pool 7 at this scenario. The only other place to go from here are the presidential status. The team's volume is 1.5 million. You need to be at a 250 subscription package. Obviously, in the first quarter, they kick in a $10,000 shopping spree at Neiman Marcus, and they hand you the keys. It's not a lease program. You don't sign a piece of paper stating you're signing your life away. They hand you the keys and the title to a Porsche Carrera convertible or Mercedes CLS 550. That's your car to keep. You can do with it whatever you want to. And then from the second quarter on at presidential status, it's a $100,000 bonus. This has nothing to do with the VIP money you just earned. That's still your money to keep each and every month. This is a $100,000 quarterly bonus. Well, there's 4 quarters in a year, so that's a $400,000 a year bump up in pay. And that's 6,000 global ambassadors at 250. Now, when you make it to that status, obviously, there's going to be a lot of people that can build just 2 teams, 2 legs if you like, do the volume. So we put a cap to protect the money in the pools, and that's 250. So at 250, 250,000 a month, right? That translates to $3 million a year. You're pretty much a happy camper. But we wanted to put an incentive if you wanted to go back to work, right? So what happens is if you do $100,000 in a calendar month or reach presidential ambassador title, whichever one comes first, you actually get to build another team because we give you a free position above yourself. Now remember, the 50% rule is still in effect. So your first position already did half of all the volume for you to go all the way to presidential ambassador for a second time. So it's only 50% of the volume. The second time has no income limitations, and if you make it to presidential ambassador for a second time, there's a $225,000 bonus waiting for you, and you can do with it what you want. You know, that would get you like a Lamborghini or a Bentley. And if you don't want another car because you like your Mercedes or your Porsche, you can get a yacht, an RV, or home. We don't care. We want to just give you some eye candy. So that's your reward for your second time. The third time, we know money is not going to be as big as incentive, so we're going to take $250,000 out of the company pool, not your pocket, and we're going to establish an orphanage in your name. And those are the kids that your money personally sponsored and took care of. Your name's going to be on the building. So that's something that, you know, you can feel very prideful for, right? That's like a little slice of heaven, I like to say. If you want to build another team, once you've made it to Presidential Ambassador 3, the 4th time around, we do the same thing, $250,000, and then we put a church, a school, or a hospital, some in the world with your name on it to take care of a lot of kids that your money directly is affecting. Now, obviously, the teams that you're building are helping kids all over the world, so you're doing incredible things with your life, with your business. It's something that would be a topic of conversation wherever you go. You're going to have a lot of things to show off, not only materialistically, but then you'll be talking about lives that you have saved. And that's the beauty of our program. So that's Presidential Ambassador 3 and 4. The final title, which is Presidential Elite, is accomplished. Once you get to Presidential Ambassador, you double the volume at 3 million group volume from the team. Now remember, it's still just 2 teams, 4 personally sponsored people in a $250 subscription package. We give you another $50,000 a month on top of everything else that we've already given you. So if you just take the quarterly bonus and the monthly bonus, that's where you get the $1 million a year club. Right? That's important to understand. Every time you make it to Presidential Ambassador, you can become Presidential Elite. So you can go Ambassador 4 times, you can go Presidential Elite 4 times, which is 4 times the bonus, 4 times the fun. Just remember, the first time you do it, though, Presidential Ambassador, you are limited to $250,000 a month in income. And so there you have it. That is our incredible program. 12,000 Global Ambassadors is the magic number to be the highest title of our program. That's still only being delivered down 2 teams. So what you want to do is, obviously from here, decide what it is that you want out of the equation, set some lofty goals, and then set some timely goals, things that you can accomplish in a short period of time. Have something written down on when you want to become visionary, when you want to become a VIP status, when you want to become presidential status. And remember, the first life we want to turn around is the most important one at this point in time, which is you. Now, once we get you financially set up, then we want to go ahead and start talking about, what can we do for kids all over the world. So one step at a time. You might want to watch this a few times. Covered a lot of ground, but it's a simple concept once you get the basics down. So this is JR saying I thank you for paying attention. As always, I wish you all the success in the world. God bless.